Hey,
Hello.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
Chris Koza.
Hey, Sarah.
It's so good to see you. Can I sing a theme song at your face?
Yeah, it's the
You know,
best
it's like,
place.
hey, I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. I miss you, and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking that you'll sing me a song or two while I just sit here in my bathroom saying, hey, I miss you. Sparkles.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Oh, that is how it's done. Chris, it is so good to see you. I don't get to see you often in real life, but I have really enjoyed any time I've gotten to share actual space with you. Like, for instance, once you did come to my big green bathroom.
Yeah, Islands in the Stream. That's what we sang.
For sure we did.
And
And
now it's part of my regular repertoire.
it is?
Well, in certain situations.
Yes.
Gotta be ready.
I love that. That's exciting. Well, hopefully someday I'll magically just show up in a situation
That's right.
and I'll just bother you by busting up on stage and getting my Dolly out. Um, I'm
Yeah, but we also
wondering.
played a show at
Oh,
Mears Park. And you
yes,
had your fantastic band there, and that was
and
great.
you had your fantastic band there, and the weather cooperated. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, yeah. I'm wondering. So we established I'm in my big green bathroom, but
hmm
where are you right now?
I'm in a kind of a dining room, laundry room that I'm painting in my apartment, and tried to zoom in so you can't see the piles of like detritus that I'm surrounded by.
Yeah. Oh, me
So,
too.
yeah,
Hide the piles for sure. That's part of the live stream
yeah. Oh, that's a
magic.
good title for a whole separate show. Maybe I'll make that mine.
I
Hide the
like
piles.
it. Hide the
Yeah,
piles.
you can write the song.
Where are you? You're in Minnesota right now?
Minnesota. Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful. Okay, then I'm going to ask you, how are you right now in this minute when I go, that's my Polaroid camera.
Okay. How am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm feeling all right. I always love this time of year, the transition from summer into fall. It's so beautiful, and I'm just kind of nostalgic and sentimental for change and what was and what might be. And this time of year is it's always great for planning and self reflection at the same time. And I'm trying to climb out of the pool of dwelling and onto the dry land of forward motion.
Yeah. That's a real thing. I love the way you put that. I feel like I'm trying to like climb on that pile. Either something looks a little bit like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a really special time of year, and I feel like we are getting it on full display right now. It's so
hmm
gorgeous, like all the time. I love
Yeah.
it. Yes. I'm wondering if you will sing us a song and tell us why you picked that song.
I will. I'm going to do a song called "The Rain Collector." To me, it's a very autumnal kind of tune, and it's on my latest release, and it seems like it's a good song to play right now.
Perfect. Chris Koza,
Okay.
everybody. Yes.
Ooh, ooh. Well, suppose all of the screens died and people woke up from the middle of their lives. Pale skin and crooked spines. Didn't know that they had their own minds, where dreams were growing like secret vines, swallowing up whole the world we used to know. If you see me sleepwalking, shake me, wake me up, down the middle of the street, over by the river where the sea is shimmering. I might beg you let me sleep, don't you let me be alone. If you find me sleepwalking, I want you to be the one to bring me home. Well, suppose Time didn't move so fast, and the years didn't collect like rain in a wine glass. Weathered skin and worry lines wouldn't show, even if the light wasn't just right. And light is something that shines from the inside, catching shadows of our youth, dancing on the moon. Ooh, if you see me sleepwalking, shake me, wake me up. Down the middle of the street, over by the river where the city is shimmering, I might beg you, let me sleep, but don't you let me be alone. If you find me sleepwalking, I want you to be the one to bring me home. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, suppose love never led us astray, and you've never watched the world roll by from the window of a train, charging through the thick and thin, the endless plains or the mighty mountains, past tiny homes and gardens where the wind chimes sway and sing, crickets do their thing. If you see me sleepwalking, shake me, wake me up. If you find me sleepwalking, I want you to be the one to bring me home. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Chris Koza. Oh, I ran to that song this morning.
Oh,
So I was getting full autumnal situation outside, around me while I
yeah.
was
Oh, that's cool.
running. And I wondered, have you ever left a wine glass out overnight and then found rain in it in the morning? Did that
You know,
happen?
not every song is from literal experience.
I thought about, there's like some nights where we eat on the patio a lot this time of year, and then we mostly get it all in. But I'm sometimes worried that I'll actually leave the wine bottle out and then it will be no good in the morning because I don't
Yeah,
want the wine to have it. It's fine if the glass stays.
yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
I'm wondering if you can tell me something good. Mm-mm. Tell me, Chris. Yes.
Something good. Well, I'm a bit of a basketball dork, and tonight is the opening night of the Portland Trailblazers basketball season. They're probably going to be very mediocre, but my heart and some unhealthy portion of my self identity is attached to that team, and like
Aw.
my growing up in Portland, Oregon, and it's a sort of this fun thing that I follow with my friends from back in the day and my brother and my family a little bit. And so that's starting tonight. So that's it's dorky, but it feels kind of good to me.
I think that's awesome. They're probably going to be mediocre. Yes, you
Yeah,
say. No,
I
but that's
know.
like the real love, right? Is like, I know the truth about you and I'm still here for it. Like,
Yeah, that's right. I wish it was different, but you won't put me in the game. I can't go out there and influence.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Coach, put me in for Minnesota. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, well, this is the part where we're going to go. In case you missed it. Ooh, ooh. In case you missed it, that way. That's Chris Koza right there. Chris Koza is a fantastic singer-songwriter. And you've done some really amazing things. Like you shared the stage with Brandy Carlisle. True.
Yeah,
Tiff Merritt.
yeah. I went on a short little run supporting Tiff Merritt around the Midwest
Oh my
a
gosh.
few years back now. A lot of these are a few years back, but it still happened.
You released, I read that you've released 15 albums since 2005,
I think that seems right.
which is like almost an album a year.
I know. I always thought that I could do at least that, and I'm a little behind, so I gotta start getting to work.
I mean, yeah, I think you're on a pretty good run. Can you tell us a little bit of your story? You referenced Portland, Oregon as being like
Yeah,
home skis.
yeah. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and I came out to Minnesota by way of St. Olaf College, and I did my collegiate studies there. And then after I graduated, I tried to move out to the East Coast, and I kind of went out there for a hot second, then back to Portland, and ended up coming back to St. Paul and continued playing music with some friends I met at Olaf, and eventually, made an album, and then had the Rogue Valley thing that happened, where we did 4 albums in a year, and then the last 10 years has just been kind of playing solo stuff, making some solo albums, doing still keeping Rogue Valley afloat here and there, and working on a new album for that, and yeah, it's been good. It seems very full.
I love that. You're a fantastic songwriter. I feel like when I both run and listen to your music, and also when I've seen you live, I'm a lyric geek, right? And there's
Oh
a
yeah,
lot to geek out about your lyrics. Like they feel very cared for. Does
yeah,
that? So, do you want to talk a little bit about like what's your what's your process? Are you an editor? Do you go back, or does it just come out?
yeah. I definitely go back. I mean, I take some care before I put it on the page, but I try not to be so much of a self-editor in the creative process, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise you're just not doing anything. You're just like preventing yourself from doing something. So I like to get stuff out on the page, get a good idea of what I'm going for, and then and then edit it. Usually it's more of a like a physical feeling thing. If I come across a line that doesn't quite resonate, and I feel a certain way, I feel like this isn't honest, or this isn't me, or this feels unfinished, and then once everything's kind of wrapped up, I accept it, flaws and all. Once it's recorded, it's like then that's the final way. But I generally try not to record something if I don't think it's if I'm all the way there with the lyrics.
Yeah, yeah. I've also enjoyed your writing when it comes to like Instagram posts. I feel like
Oh,
sometimes your captions, I'm like, oh, that's a really beautiful way to put that. So thanks for sharing your words in the book a few ways. I
oh, that's so
appreciate
kind.
that.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah. Let's talk about Sleepwalkers, part one and part
Yeah.
two. I'm going to hold up my copy of part one. Yes, look at
Oh
that.
yeah.
Look how
I
they go
wish.
together.
Yeah, I wish we had the other copies, because then we could put it together the right way. You see that hotel on yours is kind of at the edge of this cover, so they are connected.
Oh.
I loved Where's Waldo books when I was a kid, and so in my
Yes,
artwork now I try to do little things like that.
that's amazing. Tell me, so it's Sleepwalkers part one and part two. This came out what, 2019?
2019.
Okay, and part two just came out.
Yeah.
Questions. Were they recorded though in one session? Were they conceived in one? I'm assuming that there was like a grand conception in your brain, but then like, how did it come to fruition?
Well, so I did a session with at a place called Wild Sound Studios, which is great. Steve Call's great over there, and that was the initial session was like 2017, like in the fall, and then I had like 18 songs that we tracked, and I kind of started like thinking I'm going to make this big old double album, and then I got through those songs. I'm like, well, I don't like all these songs now. Some of them just didn't, whether the lyrics weren't finished, or something wasn't quite adding up. So I just made one album, part one. But I was like, but maybe I'll do something with these other songs, or I'll write some more to kind of complement this like aesthetic of work, which I liked. It's sort of like it's like modern singer songwriter, but there's some like tones there that are a little bit more like 90s and early 2000s FM radio kind of stuff going on, and so I wanted to dwell on that in that aesthetic for a little bit longer. So when it came time for part two, I had some tunes from that first session that I put on there, but then I really wanted to write some new material that was informed emotionally from the the lockdown time and the this last year, because all those tracks being done in 2017, there's hopefully there's been some tangible personal growth from then and now, and so I thought it just seemed to make more sense to write some new songs as well and add that to the part two.
Yeah, that makes sense. Your band is fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'll make them watch this, then they can hear it for themselves.
Well, don't tell Cody McKinney. You can tell everyone else except for Cody.
Okay.
Just kidding. Once in a while, Cody has played with us, and it's always like so much fun. And then I got to do a gig with Richard Medic at a church
Oh
recently, and so
yeah, they're great. They're all great.
they're so good. They're so good. I do feel like, in addition to like really enjoying being able to be a lyric geek while listening to your album, that it's still very accessible because your phrasing and your melodies are really catchy, and then the instruments are layered in a way, you reference the FM radio, it just feels very accessible in
Yeah,
that way. So
yeah. I mean, right? What like I listen to a lot of the like Z100 or like alt rock stations for a long time, and there's an invitation there in the sound itself. You can you don't have to love Smash Mouth or Everclear or those bands to like bounce along with the song, even if it's like force fed a little bit. And
yeah,
so for these Sleepwalkers albums, I just wanted to be really mindful of how that sound was coming together.
yeah, it's beautiful. You have another new
Thank you.
baby that you can hold up. Can you
Oh yeah,
on Horseshoe Lake?
on Horseshoe Lake. Oh, let's make sure you're not holding it upside down. Yeah, on Horseshoe Lake. So this is
Yeah.
it's an album of instrumental music I wrote in Ely, Minnesota, around the start of the lockdown. And so, me being a lyricist, it was hard to write these songs and not also think about, words and how they might be a companion to the music. So there's some poetry in this book that along with the music, and there's also some photography by an Ely-based photographer, Lucy Hawthorne. She does a lot of nature photography. And so there's some photos of hers from around that region that complement the poetry, which hopefully all that complements the music.
I love that. Ely is, I think, one of the most beautiful places in the world. My husband
Yeah.
just built a cabin up there, so we're partial to it.
Yeah, great.
So I went through this phase in mid lockdown, I would say, where I couldn't listen to music with words anymore. It was weird. It just like hit me. And so I would text my drummer all the time, like, I need a new instrumental album. Give me something now. And now I need to go and order on Horseshoe Lake when that phase comes again. If I go to your website, I can do that,
Yeah,
right?
you can definitely do it.
And you'll ship it to me.
I will send it to you. To
Poetry
whatever
and photos.
address. Yeah.
Excellent. Ooh, I should just get it straight to Ely.
That's right.
Yes. Is there a Horseshoe Lake in Ely?
There is. It's
Okay.
near Bearhead Creek State Park.
Okay. We're just a little bit north of that. Yeah, but
Oh, cool.
we get to go there in a few minutes. By that, I mean 20
yeah.
hours, but I'm pretty jazzed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. Okay, so everyone's got a lot to listen to after this, which I'm really excited about. I wanted to ask about house concerts, because something I know from following you on social is you've been having a really wonderful run of house concerts and yard concerts this year. And I have also had a pretty solid run of those. And for me, they've been like just such a lifesaver and a heart saver. And I'm wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about your experience as an artist with those shows.
Yeah, well, you say a lifesaver and a heart saver, and I feel like that's a good way to explain it a little bit. I mean, for when they started, it kind of gave music as my livelihood a chance to start up again.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of the performance part of what I do, and there's just no opportunities, and I realized like how closely aligned my self identity is tied to like that performer persona. So and that also is a chance to like where I connect with other people and people I've known through the years and new people that I meet. So often it's at a show, and take that away. It's like it was really hard. So I had to have the house concerts come back. I mean, for one, it was like good for my life and good for my livelihood, but um, it's also been just amazing to as a performer to be in an environment where people are so ready to accept the energy that you arrive with. And there's, I mean, there's distractions. Sometimes there's planes flying overhead. Sometimes there's dogs chasing dogs and kids chasing dogs and dogs chasing kids or whatever. Like, uh, there's a lot of things, but it's all like very, I don't know, wholesome, I guess, generally
Yeah.
in the ones that I've been a part of. And, and I think audience members like house concerts because it's so comfortable. They just bring a chair and come to a yard and bring their own beer. And I know that like venues don't benefit from house concerts, at least initially. But the idea is that like, oh, you get enough people, new people that learn from you at a house concert, and then you go to the venue, and then you bring a bunch of people there, and then it's like, I don't know, better for everyone.
That's a great way to put that piece of it, because I do think there's a chance for the like artist audience connection of really specific quality of that can occur at a house concert or a yard concert.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to more easily translate to like, now we're going to go hang out in a venue together
Yeah.
than necessarily a bar gig would, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that it is part of the, our ecology, our biosphere, like in a different way. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that if I go to your website, there's probably a house concert tab if I wanted to like think about it for next year, right? I
Yeah.
bet you're already, yes, I get your email. So I feel like I've seen you do a really good job explaining, like, I've got these dates. I would love to come
Yeah.
sing for you.
Yeah, throw it out there, and that definitely helps a lot. When I send those emails out, it's usually somebody who's like, "Oh, I got this thing." So, yeah, all the years, I love to play all kinds of environments. I mean, that's the thing I've learned about it too. Is like sometimes a house concert is you are the focus, and sometimes a house concert is like the community is the focus, and it always ends up being a real unique kind of what the hell is this going to be sort of thing. But everyone is so kind, and I'm just blown away by the generosity of the hosts and the people that come and the willingness of their time and resources. And I always feel like it's a little like very special, and
Yeah.
it's I just want to be able to try and pay that energy forward, and sometimes if I'm able to.
That's a beautiful way to say it. I love to be blown away by the goodness of people, and
Yeah.
I do think that is part of every yard concert I've ever like gone to,
Yeah.
as an audience member or a musician. Like,
Yeah.
yes, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, yay! But if someone wanted to come see you at a venue, you do have a show coming up November 13th, which is
Mm-hmm.
roughly a week from today when this is airing.
Oh, okay.
Not to mess with time
Sure.
for you, but November 13th in Red Wing, Minnesota, at the very, very beautiful Sheldon Theater. That's a Chris Koza and band show.
Yeah. So that's gonna be on the heels of a Minnesota State Arts Board Arts on Tour grant. So we're gonna be um, spending a week with some students and community people down there doing some songwriting, and then at the end of the week we'll play at the Sheldon Theater, and hopefully it'll be great. I mean, I love that theater. It sounds good in there. The people involved are just really kind, and it's a cool town.
Oh, I love that. Yay. Everybody can go get their tickets. I will link to all the things. I'm excellent at linking. Could you do us a favor and sing us another song and tell us why you chose that song?
Yes. I'm gonna do a song called "Wishing Well." It's from an album called "In Real Time," and
Mm-hmm.
it just seemed like a good song for a little bit of a, what is promising to be a rainy day. This song's called "Wishing Well." She gave me the news, clear as the bell, as the coin in a wishing well. She gave me the news, now all I got is news. alright. She said it will be alright, it will be alright, it will be alright. Then one afternoon, raining and wet, on a day I could not forget, she gave me the news, and now all I got is news. Well, this isn't goodbye, isn't goodbye. This isn't goodbye, isn't goodbye, isn't good. She said it will be alright, we'll be alright. She said it will be alright, it will be alright, it will be alright. So just dream a little bit and don't be so quick. Let it settle in before you do it all again. Oh, oh, yeah. She gave me the news, and now all I got is news. Oh, yeah. She gave me the news, and now all I got is news. Yeah, all I got. She gave me the news, and now all I got is news. All I got is all I got. All I got is news.
Chris Koza.
All
You got
right.
like your cameraman. You must have an actual camera person with you today, is what I'm
That's
surmising,
right.
because
I got 3 paint cans wearing a raincoat. They're all stacked on top of each other.
yeah, that sounds friendly. I like it. This is the part of the show where I ask you to play it forward. Tell me something you're listening to that's getting your ears hot. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Well, if I can do 2 things,
you can.
the first thing is a song called "So Hot You're Hurting My Feelings" by Caroline Polachek.
Okay.
It's kind of a pop tune. It's really good. Uh, so that's hot. You know,
It is
literally.
like literally hot. I love that.
And I do like listening. I like pop music a lot. So I love the production of it, and just sort of the confidence is
Mm.
really really cool, or appealing, I should say. And then the other thing I'm listening to is a podcast called Firebug. Um, it's really interesting. It's like a true crime podcast. It's about a book that came out about an arsonist, and then an investigation that went on around the book and the person who wrote it. And it's fascinating. So if you're
Awesome.
into true crime podcasts, it's called Firebug. So those are
Thank
my
you.
hot takes, I
Yeah.
guess.
No, they're good. That's good. That's awesome. I always that question like always gives me something new to listen to, and it makes me very happy. All right, last question. We're gonna ask for an action item. Tell us what to do. Tell us what to do to follow you. One
Yes.
thing. What should we do?
Instagram. Just follow me on Instagram. It's the easiest way. I don't over post. I mean, people definitely don't tell me I post too much. So uh, it's sensible. Usually music related. Sometimes life related.
I love it. I will link to that. It's a very easy thing to do. I want to say thank you so much for being here, Chris. It was a really wonderful treat to get to have a private concert and a conversation with you today. I feel pretty lucky. Um, I'm
Sarah,
so,
thank you so much for doing this series and for inviting people
aw,
on and taking your time and your vision. And I'm glad you asked me to do this. And thank you.
you're kind. Thanks. Well, I miss singing in the bathroom with people. Still isn't feeling like my bathroom's large enough yet. So this is a good way to stay, a little connected.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who's watched today. We'll be back next Friday at noon. So we're doing just a little run of like 6 episodes. So stay tuned. I also need to thank my patrons. This is the time where I thank people over on Patreon for supporting me and that way supporting the show, which supports these other artists. And they're just all magical humans. So would you mind if I sing the theme song one more time?
Yeah. Yeah, let's hear it.
Hey, I miss you. And I hope you're doing well. I miss you and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking that you'll sing me a song or two while I just sit here in my bathroom saying, hey, Chris Koza, hey,
Hey!
I miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
I miss you. And I hope you're doing well. I miss you and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking that you'll sing me a song or two while I just sit here.